don't do debates. I did that shit when I was younger.
No, not a debate. How about a discussion?
Yeah, but that's what him and Jabari had. A nice discussion.
We need to see another. We need to see you get in there and beat up some of these people calling your information pseudo. These so-called scientists who don't really get out the box.
Well, let them know, Rod. Money talk, bullshit walk, man. Say it.
Money don't mean shit to me.
Yeah, I know I don't, because I said that to you on the phone, and you was like, I don't care about that. But the plot thickens, man.
Look, the plot might thicken, but I'm not here. Okay, so this is why I don't do debates. I want to make people understand this. In order to do debates, right, I have to go off somebody else's information to prove my point. Right? And most of the writings is under the control of secret societies when you start talking about before 1930s. Almost everybody writing before then was part of one of the brotherhoods, or else they didn't know how to read and write. Right? And so when you pulling up sources, like for instance, a good example is Albert Churchward is no longer recognized as an Egyptologist when he was one of the fathers of Egyptology.
Dr. Owens is saying you'll get it like Billy Carson. She said you'll get it like Billy Carson.
Yeah, or like Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
Right. There you go.
See, people perception. Our people, the ones that look like us, we love some dramatic gossip.
You know it.
And so right now, if you've been watching Billy for a couple years and you go look at that debate, he not participating. Don't that sound familiar, sir?
Yeah.
He shouldn't have never took it as a debate if he wasn't going to participate.
Right. Because you know what, when I watched it, I couldn't believe it. The dude, the white boy, is asking him, yo, you've been teaching this for years, you've been teaching that. And then when Billy Carson tried to explain it, and then the white boy came on and he said everything that you are seizing, in other words, paraphrasing, you are wrong on this, you are wrong on that, you are wrong on this. And then he passed it to Billy Carson. The moderator said, well, what do you think about that, Billy Carson?
I'll let him have that.
Yeah, Billy Carson said, oh, well, he probably right. I don't know about, I'm like, what the hell? Everything that Billy Carson was teaching, he ended up backtracking off of everything. That's why the people said, I had to go see it for myself. That's why they were saying, damn, he killed Billy Carson. He ain't standing for nothing. He was teaching for years.
That's weird,
And Jake Paul beat the shit out of Mike Tyson. Come on now.
Do you think so?
No, he's saying the setup.
Oh. Well, no, when you say he beat him, what you mean by that, brother?
There's no way that the Mike Tyson that we know would have fought that fight and don't beat the bejesus out that kid in the first 30 seconds.
But nah, man. Mike is old now, man. He can't.
Don't make me pull up his training.
He had to bite his own gloves just to hold back.
No, let me show you his training video when he was. Oh my, no, come on, that man was.
So you think Mike threw the fight?
I don't think he took a dive for some other reasons that we can't be sure of.
He just wanted to get some money, and then he knew he was sick, so he was like, "I was sick. I wasn't fixing to put myself in this."
Yeah.
One of Chief Pontiac is one of the guys, man. And Chief, one of the things you done said recently, if you go inside yourself, it was a Bible quote. You go inside yourself and you can look it up and you got to explain yourself. It's a lie. If you know the truth and the truth is what it is, how you gonna go inside something like the Bible? Okay, I'm supposed to go. You can explain yourself outside that. That's what history come in at. That's where real live witnesses and things like that of everything come in at. Right or wrong?
Yep.
So and then when you debating on it's white supremacy with inside science and history. So whoever I'm trying to get sources from, how you know he don't hate niggas? I'm gonna mute my mic.
I disagree with all of that, man. I disagree with all of that. There's a lot of people you get sources from that probably hate niggas or black people. So is the source right? All you do is do the fact checking with the source. Go check another source. Go check another source. And if they all saying the same thing, it don't matter about the color of the information. It's information, man. We should put color on the information. I don't give a damn if a Ku Klux Klanman comes with some direct sources and he showed the source.
I read their material too.
Yeah, what we gonna say? Nah, he's a Klansman. I ain't gonna take it. And for Nepal showing Mike Tyson working out in the gym, listen, that man is not trying to hit him back and hurt him.
I'm not saying it like that. I'm not saying it like that.
You won't even let me say what he's.
Mike been moving like that in the first round. The second and third round came, he slowed down. Mike is too old, man. I don't think if he win the fight, he get more money. Mike get way more money. If he lose the fight, you get a cut. You get something. But if you win, you get in the jackpot. You see what I'm saying? So
but
go ahead.
do you see the overall picture of him losing the fight, throwing the fight, of what that's telling one of our greats to my son that he want to box right now? Do you understand of him doing that? It's greater than money.
No, I don't think Mike.
Who I am as a person is greater than money.
No,
that's
I don't
what Rod just said. Who I am is greater than money.
Nah, man. Mike is not going to go in there to lose a fight. Mike have a pride. The people was happy to see Mike Tyson. Mike came in there to win. And when he realized, you got to look at how old that white boy is. What, he 24, Nepal? How old was he?
He's 27, I think.
27? Mike is like, what? Come on.
Listen.
Why am I muted? Listen, I wanted to show something and speak. He did not come out fighting like this at all. He was slow. He had a little knee brace on. He barely moved. He wasn't doing this. Nope, none of that. And this isn't even the Mike Tyson at his prime, and he's moving quickly. Nepal, if you look at the video, you'll see that that's an older video. That's not Mike Tyson. The Mike Tyson that got in the ring was flabby and chubby and sick. What are you talking about? That's right there. That video is an earlier video that you're showing right now. All right, stop talking for 1 second, please. It was 2 weeks before the fight. So that's what I told you. Go ahead. Yeah, it wasn't old. It was 2 weeks before the fight. Mike didn't look nothing like that. I'm talking about. I'm gonna say it again. 2 weeks before, that was him moving. Now, so he was in there with. Why did he wear? First off, why did he wear that raggedy T-shirt, a knee brace? When he came out, he walked out by himself with that raggedy old T-shirt on. He's Mike Tyson. The whole thing was downplaying him, and if you notice, the commentators, they just talk negatively about him the entire fight, and don't think that doesn't influence judges and the crowd. They're like, oh, Mike is looking weak. Mike is looking hurt. And it was like, he didn't even come out. I'm going to show this one more time. This is him right before the fight, relatively before the fight. And even though it's a sparring session, he didn't even move like this. Look at that. Look how fit Mike look right now. He didn't do any of these moves. No, nope. Fit like that in the ring. Why don't you go get the joint when he was in the ring? And you'll see what I said. That was an earlier goddamn sparring session. What do you mean earlier? When you say earlier, what do you mean? Meaning he did that a few years ago. No, wrong. I just said 2 weeks before. Listen, all you got to do is go. I said 2 weeks before. Yeah, go and get the video where he's in the ring with him. But that was 2 weeks before. No, man. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying, man. No, you saying it's years before. It was 2 weeks before the fight. That's what they told you. That's what I'm saying. What do you mean? That's footage that's dated recently. See, that's why Rob.
They could have filmed it like way before that and then showed
No, it was him training. Stop it. Stop. It was him training before the fight. There's tons of footage of him training before the fight. If you follow boxing, people who follow boxing know what I'm talking about. There's tons of footage of him sparring. He's quick. He's hitting hard. When he was in that ring, he's like, oh, I got a knee brace on. Oh, when. Like he's barely fighting. So what do you think, Rod? You know what I'm talking about. Let's hear from the guest.
All right, hold up before Rod go in, because I want to show Rod this so he don't make a mistake. Look at this right here, Rod. Look at this picture right here. Look at his stomach. Look at him. Now show that picture again, Nepal. Look how fit he looked. Look how skinny he looked. Look how small he looked. But now in the ring, look at him. Look at his gut. Look at his gut and all of that.
Yeah, but what about what? Don't forget to look at Paul.
Look at his face. Hold up. Stop for a minute. Look at his face. Look at the age on him.
I know, but look, can I speak now? I know you're going to. Okay. Yeah. He's not the only one looking old. Look at the 20-year-old.
You do have to like wait up. Though.
I'm going to say something, Genesis. It's hard for me to get a word in. Please give me a second. Look at the young guy, too. He looks about 45, 50. He looks even bigger. So how do we know this picture wasn't fixed up for both of them? The young guy, look at his face. Look how big the young guy looks. And his face looks old. So I know what I saw.
Weight when you're like doing a fight. If he's doing a heavyweight fight, they have to like be a certain weight. So he probably had to bulk up. That's probably why he was. Like,
nah. Come on, stop it. Cut it out. Okay. All right, let Rod speak. Nepal want to know, what do you think, Rod?
His contract had so many restrictions on him. He can't fight under them conditions. You can't fight under them conditions. Look, I'm 56 years old, and I'm not in shape, and I would have put on a better performance as a former boxer if I would have got in half the shape Mike was getting into leading up to it. I would have put up a much better fight. Because I'm old and out of shape, I can't say I would have whooped a young guy, but I could tell you that the fight would not have been so one-sided. It's not possible. I mean, look at the Roy Jones situation. Right. Remember Roy Jones? When he was sparring with Roy Jones, Roy said everything Mike throw hurt.
Yeah, but how many years ago that was, though?
That was like 3 years ago.
4 or 5.
Even if it was 5 years ago, the thing is when Mike started training, you got to look at all of the stuff he was doing in training. Look at his sparring matches in training, because he wasn't just hitting the guy with the bag glove.
All right. Now look at what Nepal showed. Now here's the actual goddamn fight. Look at how big Mike Tyson is to the video, and I want you to show that video again, Nepal, right after this. I don't want to play it because I don't want to get hit with a strike, so I'm gonna just breeze on through it.
Oh, you won't get hit with a strike if you just do the commentary.
Okay, I just want to breeze on through it right quick. Look at him. Look at Mike. He ain't faking. See, he's moving. Look at him. He's slow.
Oh my God, what is wrong with that? This is why I'm saying thank you for showing that. What? This is play.
No. Now look at Mike's face. Look at his face, and look at the paw. Put yours back up.
Let me show. You saw he's showing you this BS.
No, I want you to put your head up.
Let's show him 2024 training. Somebody said that wasn't him. This is week 1 of him training.
Now go ahead, play it.
Now wait a minute. Hold on. Now that was the doctored crap. This is him training on an independent. This is independent from the fight. It's not on Netflix. And this is week 1 of him training for what's his name? Now let's see how he moves. Let's watch.
Nepal, you can clearly see that this is a total different Mike. Look at his body. Look at him.
Did you just hear what I just said though?
Yeah.
Let's stop focusing on his body, because there is a element of truth. What Genesis said, heavyweights are bigger. Let's talk about his movement. Let's talk about his movement. This is him training for that fight. This is him sparring for that fight. Look at the difference in the movement of him just sparring. And then you look at him in the ring. It's like somebody's grandmama's in there. Watch this. Watch him. Let me get it. See, look at the sparring. This is him sparring for that fight. We saw none of this. We saw none of this. Nothing. This is Mike at 57 years old.
Nepal, you can look good outside the ring, but the minute you get in the ring, it's totally different. It's just like,
these moves.
It's just like when you are practicing basketball with your team, but then when you actually get in the ring and play somebody, totally different. They're not going to do what he's doing. That's pads don't hit.
He's a professional, and Paul just started fighting.
Pads don't hit back, right?
Can I also say that if you put a bunch of weight on yourself, like 20 more pounds, all that movement is way more restricted because you didn't.
When he got hit with them punches, he started backing up and feeling them punches. He's an old man now.
Okay, well, that's Mike Tyson. Yeah, look, real quick, and I'm going to hand the mic over. Man, this isn't somebody that just met. This is Mike Tyson. This is Iron Mike Tyson. And that was a young man.
I've been competing. I've been competing and everything else. When you take a iron-class person, competitor, collegiate, whatever, however you want to put it up, Mike Tyson, and he still have the movement and everything else. He did not show that when he showed up with Jake Paul.
Didn't. Period. Wait, let me say this too, brother, real quick. When men get weight, especially athletes, nothing changes with their legs. His belly is big. Right. Hold on. His belly is big right here. Wait, hold on, my friend.
I'm 46 years old.
Okay, I know you're 46. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. 1 second. His belly is big. It's the legs that were supposed to keep him boxing. Now, that's all I want to say. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. You were saying.
Listen. The man knows the trick of the trades. Jake Paul is not even an amateur. He is a bar. You can catch him fighting at the bar.
Yep.
Tough man contest.
Man, come on, man. Don't you know it's a gimmick? Everybody that he done fought, he fought one real fighter, which was Tony such and such. I forgot his last name, but he's the brother of the current champion. And he lost.
Look at Mike. And he's an older man, right?
Why don't you think this is a setup?
Heck
Everybody he done fought is over 45. Come on, man. Look at Mike. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just not that he may took the dive for the money, but it's what the people is looking at you, your people and the people, my kids. You is a great fighter, and you went out like that just for some money. Come on, man.
Mike said he didn't do it for the money. Mike said
he'll beat the brakes out of that dude. Then he want to bite his thumb. You can tell. You can see other clips where he held back. Third round, he only threw one punch.
Do anybody know how much Mike Tyson made for this fight?
20 million.
You sure it was 20?
20 million.
Yeah, it was 20 million.
Woo.
And he needed every dime. And you know what? From what I know about what I've seen in the media about Mike Tyson, he's not on that whole my people stuff. He is more like, whoever is with me, I'm gonna go with them. And I think Jake Paul showed him a lot of love, admiration, respect. Because don't forget, his dad used to be a huge fan of Mike Tyson.
That's right.
So I think it was about who he wanted to hand his legacy over to be real. That's what I think.
He gave him 10 million. He gave him an extra 10 million.
So he got 30.
I thought it was 6.
No, he gave him an extra 10 million with the bet that he won't last. He wouldn't last all the rounds.
Somebody said he's being sued for 2 million. Andre Paris said, I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. Before
we go.
All this is a gimmick, man.
Mike said he ain't take the fight for money. He said he just took the fight because he just liked the way it feel to get in the ring.
Well, Mike got
20 million. I need that.
Yeah, he got
the 20.
Well, let me say this. Go ahead. Sorry.
For my legacy, for my legacy and for those that's like me, that look like me, and I know I got money, I wouldn't have did that. You know, I wouldn't have did it. Period.
You know, his trainer was it was like a guy like Mickey off Rocky. It was this I think he was Italian or Irish old white guy. That was his trainer. Like he looked up to him like a dad. From what I
yeah.
But
One of the coldest trainers on earth.
People say things like that until they get in that situation. Number one, Mike is broke. Mike is toe up. He getting out of jail. He ain't got no money.
But
Man,
Mike been out of jail down there 20 years. What are you talking about, son?
Man,
hold on, y'all. Hold on. Mike ain't got no money, right? He's broke right now. Jake Paul comes to him. They have a conversation. Yo, Mike, listen. The only way Mike gonna get this money is through Jake Paul right now. Jake Paul is willing to put money in Mike's pocket. Come on, man. You got to give that brother credit for that.
Well, Si, I can go to this corner store right now on live stream, and I see Mike Tyson faces on wraps and everything else. He got a weed dispensary and everything, and he got a successful podcast and all of that. Mm-hmm. He getting money. He getting revenue.
Ain't nothing going on but the rent, brother.
He getting paper. Hey, Si, he getting paper right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about you gonna go and get Mike Tyson Rello wraps right now.
And they good ones too.
That shit was closest to like how the ice skaters be Olympians and then do Disney on ice.
You said Rollo wraps, brother?
Man, you can go get Rollo wraps.
What is that
right now?
Is that like a sandwich or what are you talking about?
No,
it's a blunt wrap.
Weed.
Oh, marijuana.
And he got a weed strain and everything.
Okay.
Oh, I was talking about that earlier.
So he getting back.
About that earlier. Word.
Hey, Rod, have you ever got some Mike Tyson strain?
I ain't never had none of his trees, but I use his wraps.
But but he got them trees though, don't he?
Yep. He got a whole farm out there, a marijuana farm.
Come on, man. That man getting paid.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And you think, man, come on.
I wanted to ask Rod Hayes on that if I could. This is just a closing question. And even though this doesn't have to do with the Anunnaki, I want to see what your take is on just a brief answer. If you don't want to go in. Jay-Z situation tied into the Diddy situation. Where are you at with that?
I ain't touching that shit with a 10-foot pole.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, there it is.
One more. Hey,
Rob. Hold on. Genesis, you were saying something. I cut you off.
Hold on. I gotta say this.
Mike, I think he also got a nose job too. I think he didn't want to get his nose.
Oh, who got a nose job?
Mike Tyson. I think he got his bridge readjusted. You know, most boxers, when you really hard in boxing, your actual bridge, they have to take the bone out so it doesn't mess the thing. I think you got to readjust it. If you actually look at his nose, you'll see his bridge has been replaced.
I don't know. All I know, broken noses that is a nose job.
Right, everybody, no, we got to close out, Williams. I'm sorry, brother. Mr. Hayes, close us out. Thank you for coming once again, blessing and gracing the platform. Appreciate you, brother.
Always, brother. I appreciate you. Look, this is one thing y'all got to look for. Every icon, everybody that we thought was so high and mighty, they coming down. If they was doing the dirt, they on video. And if they on video, they going to be exposed. And if they exposed, they going to fall. I don't care if they're a politician, an entertainer, if they a police officer, county sheriff, mayor of the city. If they was doing the dirt, everybody doing the dirt going to fall. Whether they want to or not, they can't help it. Because the new age is coming in, and all of the ones that was allowed to run rampant and do the dirt they was doing, that all got to come to an end. And everything got to be revealed to the people, so it ain't no mistake about who was doing the dirt, what they was doing, why they was doing it, what you was doing there. It's all got to come out. And now we almost to ground zero of the massive exposure rollout, and all of these iconic figures are going to be removed from their iconic position because we have this tendency to worship people instead of realizing the God within. We honoring everybody else's expression of their inner deity, and some of them is some very unsavory characters with doing some unsavory acts.
Wow.
And
Let me ask you real quick, Rod, when you say that. Wait, Senator, real quick. When you say that, there are evil forces of people who will take people who are not evil, like Senator or you, and they'll say, go out and lie on them. And then they'll come out and say, see, we're exposing you. You're exposed. So what do you say about those that are cleverly trying to persecute people to keep the truth down or to tear down people? I want you to talk on that, because when they hear people say, oh, it's the year of exposure, they'll come in with the lie and say, well, see, Rod Hayes and Sonetter, they were exposed. Talk on that, though, how they're using that.
That's the gossip factory. The gossip factory requires one thing: juicy gossip. No truth have to be added to it. As long as it sounds like the juicy gossip, then that's what everybody gonna be so ooh and ah about, the juicy gossip, right? So you have these people who believe that, like, for instance, if I was out here trying to deceive people, I at least would be trying to get some money for it. Right? I ain't out here trying to make no money. I accept donations if people choose to send it, but I don't solicit donations. Right? People have to ask me for my Cash App. I don't just come out here saying my Cash App. It's not posted on every video I do. I'm not doing this for money. I'm just trying to get the awareness to enough people for the system to shift back into the favor of the ones who's supposed to be running it. But we ain't running it. And it's just like you said, you got evil people sending naive people to tear down good people in order to keep the good people from getting the message out that their shenanigans is over.
Oh, man.
I mean, you ain't on the live yet.
Oh, no, I'm live. No, we live. We live right
it's
now.
It's not normally show up on here, just say schedule.
Damn,
there we go.
You got it?
Yeah, I got an echo and a delay, too.
Okay. I'm an echo. Can you hear me good?
I'm echoing back.
Oh, yeah. We dealing with a few technical difficulties. Bear with us tonight, family. We gonna make it happen regardless. Don't know what's going on, but Rod Hayes, welcome back, my brother.
Thank you, brother Rich. Appreciate you having me back. As always, gratitude. First order of the day. The most unused superpower a man can.
Indeed. Listen, Rod, man. This is one of them shows. This is a real important one, Rod. This is pre-creation talk right here. This ain't American. This ain't African. This ain't Asian. This ain't Anunnaki. This is pre-solar system talk.
Pure metaphysics.
You know what I'm saying? This ether. Man, listen, this is some strong shit. This is the ether is what Nas used to destroy Hove in a rap battle. You know what I mean?
To make your soul burn slow.
Make your burn slow. Yes, sir. Very important topic tonight. I want to welcome everybody to the chat. Thank you for your patience, family. Thank you for your patience. Yeah, it's just real good talk going into 2025, a 9-year. Y'all know about that 9 ether energy. And the talk was inspired. I had called Rod Hayes last week. And, I always call Rod Hayes just to chop it up with him about certain spiritual concepts. And I told Rod Hayes, and this is going to be the first book. I told y'all before, I'm doing book reviews on the channel. I think I'm going to start either next week or the week after next. And this is the first book that I'm doing the book review on. I think I'm gonna do the book reviews every Monday or Tuesday. I'm gonna see. But yeah, the divine matrix deals with this mysterious force that has many names. In antiquity, Plato and them called the ether. Some people call it the quantum field. Greg Braden calls it the divine matrix. A lot of different names for this field, this invisible force, this invisible energy that's out there that permeates, contains, that's the bridge, and that is just the essence of the whole universe. Very, very mysterious force that a lot of scientists deny exists. A lot of, Tesla talked about it. As a matter of fact, let me say one of Tesla's quotes. If I have it on me right now, I don't know if I just had it. I don't. Yeah, Tesla actually said, their ether is the medium for every electromagnetic wave, from radio waves to gamma waves. So, when a lot of times I read things and sometimes I don't understand what the word means, and I just keep reading. Hold up. So I want to, because this is very important. So I want to let y'all know exactly what he meant by let me see. All right. So one of the definitions for medium is the intravenous substance through which impressions are conveyed to the senses, or force acts on objects at a distance. Then this is Oxford Dictionary. It says radio communication needs no physical medium between the two stations. That's what they're saying. This is Google. But Tesla
between the station and the receiver.
But Tesla's saying there is a medium. They just can't detect it. There is a medium that carries all waves. So, Rod, this mysterious medium, and let me just read this before we start. I want to give a nice intro. Let me read this before the start. Rod, this section is called The Origin of the Matrix. Let me read this. Then we're gonna get started, and we're gonna be cooking in here, family. Be patient. All right. Mainstream scientists today believe that our universe began between 13 and 20 billion years ago with a massive explosion unlike anything that had ever existed before or has existed since. Although there are conflicting theories about the precise timing and whether there were single or multiple explosions, there appears to be a general agreement that our universe began with a massive release of energy a long time ago. In 1951, astronomer Fred Hoyle coined the term for the infallible explosion that is still used today. He named it the Big Bang. Researchers have calculated that just fractions of a second before the Big Bang occurred, our universe was much, much smaller than it is today. Computer models suggest that it was so small, in fact, that it was tightly compressed into a tiny ball. With all the empty space removed from what we see as the universe today, that ball is believed to be around the size of a single green pea. While it may have been tiny, it certainly wasn't cool. However, the model suggests that the temperature within the compact space was an unimaginable 18 billion million degrees Fahrenheit, many times hotter than the present temperature of the sun. Within a fraction of a second following the Big Bang, the simulations show that the temperatures may have cooled to a balmy 18 billion degrees or so, and the birth of our universe was well underway. I'm gonna read this last paragraph. As the Big Bang's explosive force ripped through the emptiness of the existing void, it carried with it more than just the heat and light that we expect. It also burst forth as a pattern of energy that became the blueprint for all that is now and all that can ever be. It's this pattern that the subject of ancient myth, timeless lore, and mystical wisdom, with names that range from the Buddhist sutras net of Indra to the Hopi tradition's web of spider grandmother, the echo of that pattern remains today. So when we think about net, when we talk about web, I think about the internet and how the internet connects us all together right now, as far as technology that we use externally. So if we have the internet that connects us all, the Ethernet connects us all in a whole nother way. Let's talk about the Big Bang. Let's talk about this Ethernet. Let's talk about Star Wars said the Force. May the Force be with you. Rod, you broke this shit down to me on the phone, Rod. So come on. Let's talk about this ether that's out there, my brother. Talk to me.
Okay, so you ever heard of something called orgone energy?
Yes, sir. Yep. Mm-hmm.
The original discoveries of orgone energy was something called an ether accumulator.
Okay.
You got what's called a clean accumulator. It comes through opaque, almost clear. And then you have the dirty accumulator, and when it comes through, it's filled with soot, which gives it the appearance of being black. Right. So the ether of itself is like a aquatic field. Right. So now we're using water as a frame of reference because water is the physical similitude of spirit.
What that word mean? Rob, what that word means? Similitude. What's that?
The meaning, the similarities in the two.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Right. So the physical representation of spirit is water. Because water permeates all things, and you can accumulate the water, but you can't keep the water trapped because it's going to always find its way back. Right. So this is taking something from a source, is showing you a metaphoric link in cycles. As the water cycles, it goes through a water phase, gas phase. When it's frozen, it's in this solid phase. Right. When it becomes steam, it's a gas. But when you refine the steam even further, it's a vapor. A vapor is the mirror to what the ether is. Right. So remember when Obi-Wan told Luke, he said, the force, Luke, is neither good nor bad, but it is the intention applied that makes it so. Right. So that means that a person with good intentions can make a mistake and something good can come out of it. Because the intention that he started with was good. The person with ill will at the beginning can try to do something good, but it's going to go to crap because his intentions wasn't good. Right. So now you manipulating the ether. You determining by what's in you how you can move the ether to the good side or the bad side, or the positive and the negative, or the malevolent or the benevolent. Right. So now this brings in the Hermetic law opposites being applicable to the ether. The poles, the law opposites. That means that the ether can be either of the extremes and everything in the middle. Just like the people, our character can be either of the extremes or can fall anywhere in the middle, but the goal is to always bump straight. I mean, don't get stuck to the left, don't get stuck to the right. Stop taking sides in other people's drama. Right. So as the ether accumulates, they told us at the Big Bang that it formed something called a pea-sized thing that they called the black dot. Right. Ironically, he didn't call it the black dot in the article, but in these, it's a Scientific America article from the 90s that talk about it, what he's talking about. And it's showing you the model, and then it have what looked like a net coming out of the center of the Big Bang in a funnel-like, shape, right? This is supposed to have been the effect of the Big Bang. Right? So I say that's when they turned on the simulator. That's why do I say that? Because if you turn on the light, and sometimes you could actually see the spark that jumps out of the switch. Right. Just the spark have to make a connection, meaning that the loop got to be closed in order for it to cycle. Right. So the same way that they talk about it in science, Malachi wrote about it in the Holy Tablets. He said the dot became a line. The line was infinite until it decided to shift to an angle. Right. Once it shifted to an angle, this created the square from the dot. Okay. And then the square flipped the dot out on the other side, and now the circle is flipping out of the square, and the square is flipping out of the circle. Right at the same time. This is so in metaphysics, it's called flux flow between two-dimensional paradigms simultaneously. Right. That means it's phasing in and phasing out. Right. That's the flux flow. Remember the flux capacitor from Back to the Future was able to jump between parallels in order to it to triangulate into a position in the future.
Right. Wow. Right.
Right. So that's called the flux flow capacitor. Right. And the flux flow, if you're looking at it in the physical, it'll look like it disappears and reappears. But it never disappeared. It just went into an alternate reality, a different frequency of expressing itself. Right. So now you have what's called the octave scale, which mirrors the music scale.
Yes.
Right. This is the building blocks of what we call creational fabric. Right. Then they talk about how the dark matter permeates everything. Right. But the dark matter is no one thing. It's everything simultaneously all at once. Right. So they telling us the nature of dark matter. It's the same as the physical expression of water. So then in Egypt, it's referred to as the primordial waters or the primordial noon, N-U-N, where the term nuns came from.
Talk to him, Ron.
The great festival of the Catholic Church that was stolen from the matriarchs is the Dark Mother is supposed to sit on the sacerdotal seat, and she's supposed to wear black. And all of the nuns was supposed to be in white. Right. And then she officiates over the ceremony. And now where the women who wore the red, which represented the bloodline, has been replaced by some people they call cardinals. Now, all of these is just replacing the order that was already there with masculine gender and reassigning the roles of the nunnery. Right. So this is ancient. The nunnery is ancient, but the application of it today under the control of patriarchal homotesticles is new. Right. But it's all the primordial noon was expressed in the ritual where the women in white went to the Dark Mother, which represent Prime Creator, as the embodiment in the physical realm of those primordial noon. Right. And this is where you get your Isis seat as the sacerdotal seat. It's the Great Mother seat. Right. But she's subservient to Big Mama, Tawaret, who dwells in the sky, in the center of the zodiac. Right. So now you got Prime Creator, Tawaret, telling the Earth Mother, Isis, that we need the cleanup crew cleaning up. We looking at it through modernized religion, dogma, and social engineering programs used to steer how we perceive what's taking place. In the primordial ether, it's the closest thing that when the physical form, even more close than water, where I can explain it is like sound, a heavy bass sound. Right. So like when you in the club and you standing in front of the speaker and you feel that bass hitting all the way through your chest, that's the character of the ether. It's always there, pounding from the inside and the outside simultaneously. Right. It's permeating all things. I mean, everything is saturated with it. And even when you get down to the string theory, all particles is created from light.
Yes, sir.
Right. And then when you get to the Higgs boson, you realize that once the strings of light was tied up in the knots, you can generate matter, the God particle.
Wait, you said once the strings, now we're talking about these etheric strings was tied into knots, you can generate matter.
Right.
Rod, this good. No, I'm gonna take a note. Okay, Rod.
Yeah. So they replicated with the Hadron Collider in order to extract the Higgs boson. They have to collide two electrons together. Right. When they slam into each other, all of these other particles are produced as the byproduct of that collision,
Right.
which simulates the Big Bang.
Right.
When 2012, on December, I think 26th, they discovered a Higgs boson, right? Which tells them that this is the particle responsible for what we call density of matter.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it under the microscope, it's still an electron and it still follows the laws of the string theory. Right. So the only answer is the explosion causes it to tie up into a knot. From the force and power of the explosion, it makes the light fold back in on itself, creating a piece of dense matter.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This is why the 3D looks like it's fixed position of reality and we can't walk through walls, because the Higgs boson governs the law that separates things.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's like a pound of feathers and the 1 pound brick drop from 30,000 feet. Which one gonna hit the ground first? The only way that the brick hit the ground first is if the feathers are not contained. If the feathers are contained, like in a pillowcase, they'll hit at the same time because the weight is the same. The only thing that the feathers being in a larger container might experience more drag, which would give us the illusion that they fell at a different rate. Mm-hmm. But if you can compact the same amount of density or weight of feathers into the same space as a brick, they're going to both hit like a brick.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's the war of the butterfly. Butterfly fighting a dragon, and you need a trillion butterflies to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But he probably didn't tell him how many butterflies you're going to lose in the fight from the dragon. Right. So they use the Oregon accumulator to extract the ether and put it in a usable form, and they call it Oregon. And that is solidified ether.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Delbert Blair talks about what's called ore energy, which is primordial base energy. When you're looking at the pyramids, Rich, most of that stuff are metaphysical calculations of creation in some part of the